I'm just cooling right now, man. About to watch. For some reason, I want to hear what Stephen A. and got to say about this GOAT debate. I listened to part of it, yesterday with Jordan, and he pretty much is not like I'm the GOAT, or he's like, yo, that shit is a worthless argument, man, because like I didn't play against those guys to say I'm better than them or what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. That GOAT debate to me is something that, as barbershop talk, that's stuff that fans and that's something that everybody else should be discussing. I don't think that like I don't you can't really say players can't either, but like for you to call yourself the GOAT and say you're the what I'm saying, I don't think that's appropriate. Kobe never even said it. You don't hear Magic running around saying I'm the best point guard ever. They respect the game and they respect the players that came before them and after them and things like that. Hold on.
Something that I ever will get high or low about. It just doesn't exist for me. I never played against Oscar or Jerry West.
It is.
Would have loved to. Absolutely loved to. Just a competitor that I am. And I actually learned from them. And we, paved the road to the Kobe's and the LeBrons, right? And to me, it's the beauty of the game of basketball that a player after the previous player has evolved the game further.
Yeah. It's giving them their flowers.
Then, in essence, this is where I look at it. Don't then now use that against the player that actually taught you the game or that you learned from. And that's why I have a tough time. And look, I would love to have played against LeBron and Kobe in my prime. I would love to have played against those guys, but we'll never be able to know that.
He is right. We will never be able to know that.
Yeah.
Does he make a point, Kenny? Do you agree with what
Let me hear these
saying?
niggas, man.
Well, as a competitor and as one of the GOATs or the GOAT, I understand what he's saying, but from an outside looking in, there's a comparison that is natural, and there is a debate, and it's for
That's for us to debate. Yeah, I just said that, man.
It's for us to tell you who the GOAT is. The people who've admired or both players or multiple players to tell you it is by the criteria that we set, and the one thing that I would say that creates him and makes him the basketball GOAT of everything that we've seen in our day, in our lifetime, is that everything that we talk about and we see on this part, on the offensive end, he was just as good on the defensive end. If you were in a Houston Rockets, Chicago Bulls, we'd say, we're going to run X5. But if Jordan's on the left side, we're running on the right. So kind of like what I heard that they did at times with Deion Sanders in football.
Not throwing it over there with him, man.
That side of the floor. So not many players had the complete package both on the offensive and defensive end where they could get 30 and keep you from getting 20. So
it's lockdown defense.
And somebody else can, or they can stop you from getting 20 but can't get 30.
Like I said, I look at, because even though he said I didn't play against him, I look at his overall skill set, and like I said, can I plug and play you in any era, and you're gonna do the same thing or close to what you've done in your era. That's where the difference is, to me, the main difference. Can you plug and play these guys?
Appreciate where I'm coming from with this.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
one of my favorite openings to a movie is Glenn Ross, Alec Baldwin. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Yeah, what this clown say, man.
Closing is what defines winners in a lot of times. The 6 NBA championships, the 6 NBA.
I just want to say some dumb shit.
The never allowing a championship series to get to a 7th game. He never allowed that to happen, okay? By the way, best close in NBA history, NBA record, 9-game winning buzzer beaters, regular season and postseason. 9 for 18 on game time or go-ahead field goal attempts in the final 24 seconds of the game in his postseason career. Most point per games in playoff clinches in NBA history at 34.2 per game. That's Michael Jordan, okay? On top of the 9 scoring titles.
He said closing now.
NBA defensive team.
That was, he said closing.
Michael Jordan getting into the GOAT conversation. He's not going to do that. Kenny's 1,000% correct. That's for us to do. So Michael Jordan will be quick off the air to tell me to shut the hell up and listen to him. Damn it, listen to me right now and be quiet. Look, take notes, okay? But I'll be quick to tell him, fine. But when I get on the air, I got my own notes, okay? And that's what I'm going with. He's the GOAT, okay?
Yeah,
He's the
that's
GOAT.
not an
Now,
argument, man.
he said something very, very interesting. Respect to those who paved the way.
Absolutely.
Before Dr. J, there was Connie Hawkins. Before Michael Jordan, there was Dr. J. Before
Jerry West and all of them.
and Kobe Bryant, there was Michael Jordan.
Michael
You
Jordan.
know what I'm saying? So when you have people who set the stage, all right, credit where credit is due. The real problem with today's generation is that there's not enough deference to those who paved the way for them. I'm not saying they don't feel it. I'm saying they don't articulate it enough. It's like a passerby statement. You mention somebody and you show respect, but it's not enough reverence. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, I'm from Hollis, Queens, New York, okay? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't shine Kenny the Jet shoes, nor Kenny Anderson, nor Stephon Marbury, nor any of these guys. You understand? I'm saying Dwayne Pearl Washington, Rod Strickland, and the crew. I defer to them. I know my place. This is what I do. When it comes to actually doing it, I defer to them. You see cats today playing, and there's not enough deference. That's where the resentment comes in. It's not that you don't appreciate today's player. It's that they don't show enough appreciation for what you did and how you paved.
I can
the
agree
way.
with that
Not
to a
just
certain
in terms
extent.
of the basketball court, but the monetary benefits that have come with it. That you stood on the shoulders of other people in order to pull that off. So a guy like Michael Jordan, who obviously doesn't have money issues, he's a billionaire. You know what he's doing. You understand? You can't tell him anything. Right? And by the way, now he's winning at NASCAR, not just basketball. You understand?
Wins what he does, man.
Going on, he takes a moment to sit up there and remind you.
I just wanted to hear this.
The Robinsons and the Elgin Baylors of the world, and so many others from the past, not to mention the future, the people that came after him. And he's saying, yo, you can never prove it, but he knows better because, damn it, he's got two eyes, and I have two eyes. We know what we've seen, right? That doesn't mean you look at a LeBron.
Steven, you mentioned the greatest point that you just said.
Go ahead.
Not only we know what you've seen, we understand the context and when it was happening.
That's right.
So,
Exactly.
for most people who are younger than us, they just see the highlight or
Yeah.
they can watch the game. They go, oh,
But they weren't there to see the context of it, the intensity and all of that shit. Like,
But you understand the context of what it was when LeBron was going through it.
Right.
We have been fortunate enough to see both in their context.
been saying that for
So
years. We saw it all.
Kobe was doing at that time when there was a rift between Shaq. Oh, when Michael Jordan went to Atlantic City and he had, now they're talking crazy, and he's got to come at the highest level with the pressure on him. Oh, in Utah when he actually is sick, and we're sure that said we understand all of those moments because we were in the context of them as well as LeBron's moments when he was in Detroit and went for 20 straight.
Or Boston.
And we can say, well, that moment still is better. And because of the context of it, not only because of the statistical things that have happened in it as well.
And Kenny, appreciate this. LeBron's got 4 championships and 4 NBA and 4 league MVPs. His greatest moment wasn't in the finals. It wasn't even in the championship game. It was when he was down 3-2, when a championship continued to elude him. They had lost to Dallas, and then the next year they're in Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. They are down 3-2. Everybody and their mama is there, including me. I'm there in person because I'm like, yo, he's down 3-2. He cannot lose this game. He can't even lose this game, and the championship will lose him again against KG, against Ray Allen, against Paul Pierce, against Rondo, with Doc Rivers and them coaching. You lose this game and you go home. Your epitaph is going to be bad. And that brother responded with 45 and 15 and bust still living, you know what, looking like a man possessed. That moment right there is a shining moment for LeBron because it's the adversity that Kenny is alluding to.
that's a good moment. I gave niggas that moment on Twitter.
Where we could have these GOAT debates. What MJ is saying is, look, man, these cats are great. The fact that you are part of the conversation involving a GOAT shows how great you are. Unfortunately, in today's that be an insult? Only in today's climate. Only in today's climate.
It's a good point.
It's kind of like very similar to the rap debate, like who's the greatest rapper of all time. You know, however, there is a group of people that have been part of multiple eras of rap
It's our era.
that can
We saw it all, man.
what it meant.
We saw,
This song
just talking to my babies about it, we saw black and white televisions. Some people even saw Vietnam War. We saw VCRs. We saw ESPN be created, Fox News. We saw cable on the rise, PlayStations. You know, we went outside and played. We didn't have all these video games like that. So maybe like the mid 80s, early 90s, we didn't have devices like that. We had to go outside and play. We saw all these things, man. We saw the shit, man. We saw the Jordans and the Joe Montanas play. We saw the Brady era. We saw Elway and them play. We saw Magic Johnson era, Bird and them play. You know, so when we trying to explain this shit and say, hey, look, it's not us just living in the past. We watched LeBron play for 20 years, plus years. We watched Kevin Durant and them play 15, 18 years, whatever. We watched these guys ball, be like Steph Curry and ever and them. So what we saying is, hey, look, the stakes are not as higher as it was back in the days, or the intensity level of the game has changed. We watched everybody go through it. We watched all the technology change. Cell phones. We didn't have cell phones when we were kids. These kids growing up now, everybody has a phone. They don't know the world without a cell phone. So when we trying to express these things to you, you know, and say, hey, look, this is what we saw. You know what I'm saying? This is why we think it's not that we know more, it's that we saw all this stuff. So when we try to explain something to you, I mean, everybody can believe what they want, right? But we're just trying to explain to you kids what we saw, the magnitude of what we saw, and in comparison to today's times, you know, the differences, right? And it's not to say that the kids, you know, it sounds like when they say, oh, the guys just playing like statues and robots, they weren't playing like that. First of all, we watched the games, like we're saying, and watch the content, especially with when you watch sports. Like sports was more physical back then. It was more physical in the 50s with football. They had very little rules with tackling, and then, you know, over time, you know, it got better and better with the tackling and trying to lessen the injuries. But football was a way more physical sport. And they sit there, bro, they didn't have the athletes because you guys are running fast, and, you know, they had fast guys back then too that ran, that set records running. Just like when you look at all the records that they're breaking in today's game, are records that were from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Like you guys are breaking these type of records. And, you know, when you look at the dunk contests and things like that, the dunk contests are trash because they're not doing anything spectacular no more. Like the dunk contests back in the days featured guys like Dominique Jordan, Kenny Skywalker. You had Muggsy, but you had a different variety of people. Clyde Drexler, Larry Nance. These dudes are jumping out the gym, man. Dr. J. You know, like, you had a bunch of dudes that jump out the gym, so you can't sit there. Then you be like, oh, centers shoot threes. All you're doing is shooting the three ball more. You watch Shaq take Mike off the dribble and shake Mike up, and they was just playing around in the All-Star game. We used to watch Olajuwon pull up and shoot jumpers. Ewing was a perimeter shooter. David Robinson could play in the perimeter, so it wasn't like, you know, Kareem could run the floor. It wasn't like he just ran and just got in the post and just did a sky hook all game. No, he can dunk on you. He can run the floor. You know what I'm saying? You had a turnaround jumper. Like, these guys had game. Wilt Chamberlain, you watched them play, they had ball games. See, we watched the game and understand, like, and look at the skill set and say, all right, these guys were versatile scorers. They didn't just score one way. You know, all the differences now, these guys is running up and down shooting threes. Everybody shoots threes now. That's it. But don't act like these guys back in the days couldn't do that. They just weren't asked to. When you look at Magic, Magic can score. They say like when they're putting guys like LeBron over Magic, and they're saying, well, his ability to score and his athleticism, Magic can yam it on you. Magic can run up and down the court and get busy. Magic can score if he needed to. He didn't need to score because they you know what I'm saying, they played more traditional ball, so they didn't need to play outside of their selves of what was asked of them on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like only when it mattered the most. Then you see Magic when all else fail, you see Magic, give me the ball and get the fuck out the way. Bird, give me the ball and get out of here. Bird can give you 56. You know what I'm saying? Like give you 60 and all that. Like Magic can give you 40. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't a prolific scorer like that, but Magic, you say Magic, we need you to score. Magic gonna get busy, man. That's what y'all not understanding. It's not that they couldn't do it. Like you know what I'm saying? You look at Olajuwon. Olajuwon had all kind of moves in the post. Olajuwon also can shoot a three-pointer if he needed to. But that wasn't his game. Shaq wasn't asked. I'm not saying Shaq can put it on the floor and run up and down, but Shaq can pass, Shaq can run the floor. You know what I'm saying? Shaq, you know what I'm saying, would be able to dominate in any era. Because his ability, like, that's the thing. You have the ability to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all had these abilities, man, like, to play the game. Bill Cartwright had a jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Ewing had a jumper. Like a lot of centers had jump shots, man. They shot maybe 16-footers or, you know what I'm saying, they could come out and shoot a 20-footer, but it wasn't asking them to do that because the game was played more traditional. That's all it was. Most point guards and shooting guards can shoot. Like, you had specialists out there that shot threes. Like, if you ask Jordan, you hear Shannon Sharp, he shoot the three ball. He's got, fam. If you ask Mike to shoot threes and play in this game, he's gonna shoot more threes. The only reason, you know, it's like if that's the case, then why LeBron get the ball? If these guys are scared, that, you know, it's gonna say we're not gonna give him the ball. Like, that shit he was saying the other day ain't make no sense either, man. You bring up a Kobe and all this. Kobe's 2 championships, right? Because he won them without Shaq, meant more than the 3 that he won with Shaq. Even though they three-peated, and the last team to three-peat, they meant more because he did it on his own with lesser help. That team they had with Shaq, and they'd be like, well, he didn't score. Kobe played 20 years and he didn't, no context to it. Kobe came in at 17 years old. Kobe was you know what I'm saying, like, I don't want to say he didn't have the hype. He didn't have the hype like LeBron, but he had the talent and they saw it. And Kobe, you know, when he was in the game, was so effective that he ended up being an all-star, but the next year. Remember, the boy came in the league 17. By 1920, he's already starting. Remember, he was going on the team playing behind Eddie Jones, a young up-and-coming star who was already an all-star. Then you had Nick Van Exel, who was an all-star. Where's he getting the playing time? These are young players. So they were able to get Kobe through trade. And they saw how talented he was. And they realized when they went and got Phil Jackson, all Phil Jackson did was bring the Bulls, minus Pippen and Jordan. He brought a lot of those Bulls players and that mentality over. And he said, hey, look, this guy has the talent of Mike. And I got Shaq to carry. And Shaq is the vet. You know what? We can win with this. And they got the other 2 guys out of there and paved the way for Kobe and went 3 straight. You know, but there's no context to what Shannon's talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Kobe, you know, always felt like he can do it on his own. And he never got the opportunity to do it on his own like LeBron did. He didn't go to a shitty team where he got the green light to shoot the ball. You know, he had to play behind all-stars. You know what I'm saying? And then he's playing with Shaq. You know what I'm saying? So he's on. It's not like he chose his fate. He went to a team that was already put together pretty much, man. and already has superstars and everything. So he's 17. There is no 17, 18-year-old starting over no all-star. That's the guy that's already an all-star, and he's young. So once he got his shot, and they ended up winning 3 straight. And then once he got his shot again, they struggled a little bit because they traded the whole team. They have coaching issues. You know, Rudy Tomjanovich retired. So you got to know all these things. This is where the context come in at, when you're living through these things and not just trying to do revisionist history. You know, he had to go through the you know, the grind, pause, to, you know, make his way back to the top after Shaq left. And he went 3 straight again without Shaq, right? And he ended up winning 2 straight. He blew that series against Boston, and then he came back and he won 2 straight titles and then beat that same Boston team. You know, and he had lesser help on the team with when he won the 2 straight than he did with Shaq and them. You know what I'm saying? Like so with Shaq, he had Glenn Rice, you got